Welcome. Welcome, y'all. Returning and new subscribers. Hey, 723 on the 23rd. Just like that. Yeah, I see the title, right? Heaven Relocated. That's all I've been hearing today. Heaven Relocated. Heaven Relocated. Baby, where did you go? We already know. We here bringing heaven on earth, right? Okay. I was going to channel this, just vibing out. Shout out to my mama. Today is her birthday. My favorite Virgo. I love her. She's one of my greatest and strongest guardian angels for sure. And I celebrate her today. Yes, I do today and every day. Every time I'm doing what I'm doing when it comes to my purpose, it's also a form of celebrating her each and every day. Okay, so we know, if you've been vibing with me for some time now, we're in the energy of Regulus, which is a royal star of the north, which also speaks of the heart of the lion. Which will also carry through into the new moon in Virgo, which will be at 4 degrees. New moon in Virgo, a clean slate when it comes to habits. 4 degrees. 4 also connects to the 4th house, the moon, Cancerian energy, ancestor energy. So there's a lot happening. And all I've been hearing today is heaven relocated. So where did it go? So like I said, that's wild because the water right now is showing me that is the most beautiful thing I've seen in my life right now. Because I have flowers behind it, but it's giving me the shape of, it looks like a gingerbread man, right? But in the center, you can see, wow, you can see the spiral of the universe right in the center of it all. But mind you, the center of it all is literally, it's all of this, all of it. From the root to the heart chakra is just a spiral. Yo, heaven relocated. Wait a minute. Right now, the moon is in Cancer at 23 degrees, which is an Aquarian degree. Okay. So you know how operates. It doesn't work with the time constructs we work with as we know it to be. But it does work with time in the way that we are supposed to work with it, as far as it being a form of art, illusion, right? Heaven relocated. Shout out to the Black Mamba, today's birthday also. Regulus energy. The royal star. Royal stars are on the four corners when it comes to the planet. The galaxy that houses this planet. Heaven relocated. Now, as I was looking at the gematria, one of the values of heaven relocated was that Archangel lost control of Aries, Ares, which is similar to Aries, the zodiac sign ruled by Mars. Now, the way I'm seeing lost control, it's almost as if Gabriel did what he had to do to ring the alarm, to sound the trumpet, which connects to your creativity, your expression. He's also one of the youngest of the angels. But Gabriel also connects to temperance, along with Michael, having relocated. So now, I don't feel the energy of Gabriel losing control in the sense of weakness. No. It's more so setting it loose. Setting what loose? Loose? That's light in Spanish. Luz. Luz. Loose light control. Light control of Aries. Archangel Gabriel, light control of Aries. Which is connected to the spiritual warrior, which is connected to the I am. The light has been turned on completely when it comes to the gods and goddesses and the angels that are walking, roaming this planet at this moment. The freedom to speak, which means there's a liberation or breaking of the chains when it comes to mind control. Oof. Okay. Even much stronger right now because of where the sun and the moon is in connection to the royal star Regulus, which guides you to move from the heart space. See, when you operate from the heart space, detachment becomes a piece of cake easily because you're moving from the heart space. And you're detaching from whatever it is that operates from the mind that is not in control, which means something else is in control of it, obviously. But whatever that being or energy is that is in control of the mind, preventing the being from operating from the heart, is a different story. Archangel Gabriel lights the path of control of the spiritual warrior. Now, Archangel Gabriel has to do with the throat chakra, which is right above your heart chakra. Being a person, a god, a goddess that operates from the connection of your throat chakra, it also means that you're connected to your mind's eye. In control of the mind, because you are in control of the energy in motion within the energy in motion, and your willpower, solar plexus, which is right under the heart chakra. Understanding. What is standing under the heart is the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and the root chakra. What is standing under the heart chakra is the following: I have, I want, I can. The heart chakra says, I love. The foundation of what you love is incorporating what you have, what you want, and what you can do. But to connect to the heart chakra, those other three can easily be something that someone is pouring into you and you're not bringing out of yourself. Okay? When you bring out that light that is within you, and the way you bring out this specific light that I'm speaking of, that is in connection to your mind's eye, that lights up your crown like a halo, okay? It has all to do with what it is that you love to do. Or operating from love. Some of you carry a sensitivity that puts you on the path of certain traumas to come face to face with the self that is of unconditional love. Okay? This is why you hear that love is one of the strongest energies, frequencies, vibrations, because it is. The one thing about a spiritual warrior, why you can't defeat a spiritual warrior, is because they're in control of their heart, which means they're in control of their subconscious mind. You have your conscious mind, you have your subconscious mind. To give up your consciousness, it's a big deal now. It's a big deal because it's going to be something even bigger that you're going to have to handle. First, realizing that you're not operating from your soul, which means that you don't have control over what you're willing to do, your emotions, and your thoughts. And everything that you're conscious of that's being downloaded into the subconscious has nothing to do with you. Sounds like something that needs to be fixed. How do you fix it? Well, this is where you hear of transformation, tower moments. What is the tower? Is connected to Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius. This is the Aquarian age. Aquarius says, I know. What do you know? What are you willing to do about what you know? Because the polar opposite to Aquarius is Leo. Aquarius says, I know. Leo says, I will. So some of you may have 5th house placements, 7th house placements, and you find yourself struggling in life. Well, there's something you know that you're ignoring, and ignorance is not bliss, never will be. Because all you're doing when you're ignoring something, you're basically telling yourself, you know what it is, but you're willing to do nothing about it. You're willing to allow what's not working for you to control you. Aquarius, ruled by Uranus, which is also retrograde tomorrow. What that's going to do for the collective is show you where you're not being authentic with yourself. Show you where you're not being authentic with yourself. And again, the message of heaven relocated. I literally just did this, and this is my left eye. Shout out to Lisa Lopez. But that's also connected to the 12th house, the unknown, the realm of the divine, the realm of spirituality, or the house of spirituality, the house of self-undoing. Now, go from one thing to the next. The 12th house is the house of self-undoing. It's also the house of spirituality. Spirit is connected to air, which is also connected to breath. What gives you life? What habits do you have that are giving you life or taking life away from you? Because heaven relocated is the message I've been hearing. Heaven relocated, what does that mean? Heaven on earth, you've been hearing that constantly, right? And like Bobby Hemmett says, if heaven is going to be on earth, there's the essence now of immortality, which also connects to your sun sign, your immortal spirit, your purpose. The way you connect to your immortal spirit is by aligning with your purpose. Aligning with your purpose means you're on the path of your north node. Heaven on earth. Now you can easily hear the way people have learned to die. By telling themselves and manifesting, when I go to heaven, heaven is on earth, approaching, relocating. So where are you going? I had a beautiful dream as well. I'll see if I'm guided to mention it again as we continue with the message, because I overstand the way that hop went off at 7:43. Let me just see what 7:43 Gematria is talking about before I even. Let's see, 7:43. Sun God, Amun Ra, air and fire, also connected to 888 of Sagittarius, blinded by the light. I am my mother. Spiritual knight, like Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. Spiritual, mutable energy. Then it says straight spirit, Holy Moses. I'm going to go back to Heaven Relocated. We're going to pull some messages. Let me see. Nipsey Hussle's on this list, but hustle is spelled like hustle, work type of thing. Breath of love. Atlantis citizen, God's savor. It also has jealous God, and I feel like that's why that energy of Heaven Relocated also, because it's the age of Aquarius, right? You gotta know what you're reading. You gotta read what you're reading with your mind's eye. You can see where a lot of people are at when you start to speak of religious text. Okay? Here's an example. I was by the pond, and this was after my fast, that I was at the pond. I went to the pond again. And you can see the rainbow forming around the sun. And it was the shape of the cloud was like a big ass hand. And I happened to see a gentleman that I seen before. When I saw him before, this is where I was able to tell where Source was providing me with the message, right? Because when I came back and saw the same person, they was doing their thing, singing, gospel music, do your thing. But they didn't recognize me. So I said, let me pay attention. Let me pay attention. He stopped singing. Something tells me to get out specific tools that I normally carry with me and put it on me. So I did. He says that he wants to sit next to me and talk to me. I said, okay, that's not a problem. Then he asked me the following question. Red flag number 1. Do you want to go sit in the shade? I said, no. The sun right here. We can sit right here. I know who I am. I don't have to explain that to nobody. Right? So he starts talking. And this is what I mean about knowing who I am, because when it comes to human design, I'm a projector. So whatever it is a person is presenting to me, I'm going to expand it to the point they see parts of themselves in me, but not realizing that I'm just the mirror to reflect it back to them, so they can see themselves by just listening. This is for my fellow projectors out here too. Just listen to people and realize that when you start to speak, what their response is. Long story short, he's also one who is part of the community of being interested in the same sex. Not my business. Do what you do, but overstand universal law and overstand when a divine feminine is in your presence. Long story short, the energy, I'm going to just say the energy, felt as though I was testing their intelligence. Maybe, but that wasn't my intention, so this is why I'm saying maybe. Because I can care less about your intelligence, because that's what you have within you. Talk to me about your wisdom. What have you learned from your obstacles and challenges? But this was a being that felt, because they were of an older age, me being who I am, and I look way younger than what my age is. Okay. This person felt as though they had the ability to look into my face and say that they are the only God. Do you know how loud that hawk started to screech? I said, let me tell you something. You are not the only God. 2, I have a womb. You do not. Be mindful. Do whatever you want to do, but be mindful of how you coming across to fellow high priestesses, divine feminines that you cross after me, if you have that opportunity. And you know why else I went off like that? Because they asked me what I do. And one of the things I said was provide messages to the collective. Don't ever tell me that that's something I'm going to stop doing. Do not ever tell me that. Because I know who has the authority to do so. On top of, that's not something that's going to happen because of this one here is here to wake up my fellow gods and goddesses and my spiritual warriors. And like I said, you cannot defeat no spiritual warrior, because a spiritual warrior has control of their heart, the subconscious mind, their emotions, and their willpower. Mind you, this entire time I'm speaking just like this, the person in the energy is just I said, oh yeah, I know who you are. Because you don't remember the last time he spoke to me. So my message to the collective at this point, there are going to be instances where your demons tell you exactly what you're supposed to hear. And they are not going to recognize you the next time you come around and apply what it is that you've heard, that you've already been applying, but it's just gotten to a point where you had to get this boost of courage to operate more from your heart and do what you're supposed to do without worrying or thinking about what anybody has to say. Because if you're worrying or thinking about what anybody has to say, you're now moving from a space that is not coming from the heart. And one thing about mindful awareness in the age of Aquarius, that's the other sign that has the RIUS at the end of it, like Sagittarius does. So that's like Jupiter, Uranus vibes, which connects to Gemini, and it also connects to Leo. So now you got Mercury, the Sun, Jupiter, and Uranus. Those four in itself are let me see something. Hold up. All four of those are connected to the royal stars, which are guardians of the four corners. See, I don't do what y'all want to do when it comes to your preference, but don't overstep your boundaries. Don't overstep your boundaries. Hi, Fatima. So, heaven relocated. All of the beings of heaven, the builders of heaven, are on this wonderful planet where there are beings that can also create, because God is a creator, right? God is a creator. Each and every single one of us here are able to create something. How small or large it is, that doesn't even matter right now. Ever. Doesn't even matter ever. Whatever it is that you're able to create with your hands, most will say, I'm going to leave it in the hands of God. You ever ask yourself what's in the mind of the infinite creator of all that's also within you? Because if you're saying you're leaving it in the hands of God, that means you're leaving it in your hands. You are made in the image of the Most High. You are made in the image of the Most High. Imagination also houses the frequency of I am. You are the image of, you are the image of, you are the image of the Most High. You are the image of the Most High. Do you know how disrespectful it is to think otherwise? But some won't see the disrespect because it's a thought. If you knew, I'm pretty sure you could change it. Because if you knew, then you would be operating from this heart space and connection to the mind. Because going back to what I was saying about Aquarius has a lot to do with mind, with the mind and heart, which is still the spirit and heart, or logic and emotions. Let's put it that way. Sea and air, water and air. Okay. So, in order to fully operate or to build in this age of Aquarius, or to just be thyself in this age of Aquarius, you're going to have control over your emotions, the order within you. There's more water in your body than there is blood. So I see why I wasn't supposed to channel this, just vibing here with self. I'm going to pull Divine Feminine cards first. Thank you, Mama Universe and Papa Universe. Angels and spirit guides, ancestors, Mama, happy grand solar return, my love. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of Mama Universe, Papa Universe. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of my angel, spirit guides, ancestors. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of the gods and goddesses that flow through me as me for you and I collected to use our my time to see, always in connection to the Most High. Ashe, ashe, ashe. So it is, so it is, so it is. It is. It is. It is. You are, because it is. Let's see what the Divine Feminines have to say. I just felt like I love you all. This is your moment to operate from your heart chakra. And operating from your heart chakra, that means you're operating from love. So don't feel guilty about what you stepping away from or who you stepping away from. Because your heart knows. If they decide to come back around, they'll come back around because their vibrational match to where you're operating from, which is your heart chakra. You know what I'm saying? But if they come back around still operating from the mind only, their thoughts only, it could be a reflection of where you're operating to. But use your discernment. Okay? A lot of you have gone through so much. My Ruby. Hi, Mama. A lot of you have experienced so much because you chose to be here. Hola, mi vida. Welcome, Goddess. My goddesses are in the building. Fatima, Ruby, Vida, come through. Yes. Listen, let's see what the Divine Feminine has to say. This came out earlier too. I know this ain't the same too. No, it's not. But this one came out earlier as I was sitting there hearing that message, Heaven Relocated. The Queen of Saintly Women and the Queen of the Outsiders, Rabia and Sarah Lakali. This is giving me strong Kali energy, but coming from divine love. It's like, you know, you can be Kali, the warrior, if you wanted to be, easily. But now has come the moment where you're being asked to operate from your heart chakra. Because the planet itself is going through an upgrade. Energetically, it's going through an upgrade. Anything that's not operating from the heart chakra, it'll be like a on and off switch. Because it doesn't support it. It won't be able to support it. The body won't be able to support the frequency. Now, you have Sarah Lakali here, the Queen of the Outsiders, saying, I have arrived. I am where I will always be in love. And you see that she has this water anchor with the heart. Just looking at this image, it's giving me the royal stars or the guardians of the four corners, literally protecting your heart space. So a lot of you are also going through these shifts where you are intuitively operating from your heart chakra. I mean, this crescent energy really want me to say something about it because it got stuck here to this ring, which is like a reef. Let me turn this around so I don't get caught up again. Okay. Now, you have the waning crescent, waning gibbous that has that, waning crescent and the waxing crescent, which is when you'll see the shape of the moon. Okay. Now, the waxing crescent speaks of having courage, moving forward with faith, trusting things that you cannot see. Faith. Going from the age of Pisces belief to the age of knowing. Belief, because I also feel like there's a shift in language. Belief was synonymous to faith. But to believe, it's almost like, for me, the way I've been channeling that word is more so you operating from a 3D aspect and not a 5D aspect, where now you're operating from the heart space because the heart does what it wants to do. Literally does what it wants to do. If it wants to keep beating, it will keep beating. If it wants to stop, it will stop. I just heard, what's his name? Drake, Controller. So, your heart is the controller. Your heart is your boss, your number one boss. Your heart is number one. That's why love is so powerful. Love is extremely powerful. Why? Because when you're using the word love, that means you are operating from the heart chakra. And the heart is unconditional. It is unconditional. It is. It feels like your heart holds all the wisdom you could ever gain throughout every lifetime that you reincarnate on this planet. Your heart does. So when you hear of quantum leaping, going from timeline to timeline or realm to different realms, it's because you're connected to that space that is naturally as light as a feather. It's light as a feather. You see how Sarah Lakali is called the Queen of the Outsiders? It's not a coincidence. This is speaking of an energy whose heart is literally anchored in the soul. No one can control it. Not even the being that is able to have that heart within their physical body. Now, what is that saying? It's like if the heart gets tired of the physical body that it's in, the subconscious, the soul that's dwelling within it is going to leave that house and relocate. Some of you have an ability to move around. That's what your traumas are for. To get you to realize, okay. Because in the moment that you're experiencing something that is translated as painful or hurtful, there's also a part of you that is imagining the best case scenario. Even if it's deep within the subconscious mind, and even if you don't see it at that moment, because you're in the presence of certain conditions, as I'm using the word if. So that's something to pay attention to as well. If somebody says, I love you, that word if come out, you're expressing a condition. Love is unconditional. So be where you always will be, which is where you were before you came here. Heaven relocated, bringing heaven on earth. Chosen one. Chosen one for the simple fact you chose to be here. You chose, you made the choice in saying you wanted to be here. And many have chosen to do so. Therefore, heaven relocated. Now, there's a lot of planets, up to five, if I'm not mistaken, that are retrograde. Review, redo, regroup, retouch, reconsider. There's a lot of going within. Let's just say that. Plenty of it. And speaking of this queen here of saintly women, she's giving me the vibes of a Queen of Wands energy. She's in service of divine love. There's nothing there's not anything in this world, boxes of worlds, that's going to remove that passion of being in service, Virgo energy, of divine love. Not even the self. That would be one of the greatest battles of that being, though, to operate on a path other than a service of divine love. She only moves the way love asks her to move. She only moves the way the fire in her heart asks her to move. It's time to start being more comfortable with operating with the inevitable changes that come with operating the way love asks you to move. See, the way I expressed comfort just now had nothing to do with staying in the same spot. It's more so flowing with the inevitable of change. Change is beautiful. I'm going to see what the animal spirits are saying. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Divine Mother, Sarada Devi. Unconditional love exists within me. The presence of love is the absence of judgment, and to have judgment means that you're putting something into balance. Once it's in balance, you can now step into the essence of non-duality, where you don't even have to even think of the word balance. So, sounds like an angel operating in me. A being that is extremely advanced when it comes to technology, body, spirit, and soul. We have the butterfly. Mind, body, and soul transformation. You are being guided to embrace change and detach from what no longer serves you. Begin now to recognize your own beauty and elegance, and the world will do the same. So this is basically rewriting your story. And if you're rewriting your story, I'm pretty sure you want to be recognized for your own beauty and elegance. Right? And we have the hawk. Which reminds me also, going back to that moment at the pond, as I started to speak, 2 dragonflies went right by my ears. I said, oh wow. Because this being is constantly in this park talking to feminine energies. And this is somebody that I mentioned before. But this time, the reality of that being stepped out. Everything that they mentioned before was on point, because that was source operating through them for me to recognize who they are. Because again, I know who I am, and a lot of you are getting notice of who you are as well. And when I say that, I mean you being the eyes of source. And when source is ready to operate through you, it's going to bring around situations again that have to go through a process of balance. All you have to do is allow source to operate through you. What do I mean by that? Be still, observe, and know that these 2 eyes right here are showing you something you've already seen, but it's being personified as a manifestation that is detrimental to this planet. And whatever presents itself to you in front of you is basically another chance to clean off that slate. But not many will receive that memo. Again, I'm talking to gods, goddesses, angels, pure ones, the original ones, heaven relocated. So if heaven relocated, and I'm going to say if I am using the word if as I just mentioned it, what is the condition then? The condition would be that the frequency of earth has evolved to the state of heaven where now the angels have to protect this planet. Now we see a lot of images of archangels, right? We see a lot of images where we can say, oh, this looks like this and this looks like that. What do you look like? Because heaven relocated. Who are you? If you are one of the originals, and the condition right now is calling you forward to protect this realm, you ready to do the work? And from the butterfly to the eagle, leadership, spirituality, clarity. You're being guided to let go of emotional attachments and connect to divine inspiration, flying high above the restraints of yourself and society. Look for the moments of truth and act upon them from your elevated vantage point. Balance, harmony, and joy can be easily found. You know what it's like to be at a state of bliss, my fellow gods, goddesses, angels. And when I speak of the gods and goddesses, I mean the ones who are here that are protectors of heaven. Heaven on earth, heaven relocated. Those of you who can hear me, you'll hear me. Which is why I'm not explaining myself, because I'm just not. Then we got the tortoise at the bottom of the deck. Slow and steady. It's been a very long journey, but you're being guided to be mindful. Enjoy each moment and have patience with yourself and others. This is what I'm saying. There's going to be a lot of situations that show up in the present moment where you're going to just want to observe before you decide that you're going to experience it, because this is now when you're allowing yourself to process a download, an experience into your subconscious mind. Okay? Taking small steps forward will deliver you to huge accomplishments, says the tortoise. Let me get one more here. The griffin, sheesh, and the polar bear. The griffin speaks of balance, clarity, second time, and spiritual enlightenment. You're being guided to find the harmonic balance of your mind, body, and soul. The abundance you seek already exists within you. You are strong, independent, and fearless. Take flight and achieve what you desire. achieve what it is that's brewing in your sacral chakra of creativity. Archangel Gabriel already gave you the light to control yourself, gave you the light, gave you the spark to hear what it is that your divine voice is communicating to you. And just like the eagle said, connect to divine inspiration. So whatever it is that is vibrating through your throat chakra in connection to your mind's eye and your crown is exactly what it is that is coming towards you to inspire you. So if you're feeling a lack of inspiration, it's because you're ignoring a lot that's going on within you. So you have to handle what's going on within you first. And I promise you, your external world is going to shift based off of that. Okay? So let me grab one more divine feminine here. The white buffalo calf woman, the prophetess of the sacred way. My heart is a compass. Yeah. The path of love is true abundance. With Fatima at the bottom of the deck. The one who takes care of the Father. The one who takes care of the bloodline. By taking care of thyself. This is what I said. I'm talking to the gods and goddesses and the angels because you have a plethora of royalty flowing within your veins. Okay? Go through Fatima. So much so that love, like she said, is my lineage and gratitude is my religion. Love is my lineage and gratitude is my religion. Those two statements right there, just hearing it brings nothing but peace. You feel me? Give me 1 second. Un segundo. I am back, beloved. Hold on. As I stepped away, give me a second. Let me get these lyrics. Wow. The song that just came through as I stepped away was Seal's song, A Kiss from a Rose. Kiss from a Rose. There used to be a graying tower alone on the sea. You became the light of the dark side of me. Love remained a drug. That's the high and not the pill. But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the gray. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels. Yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the gray. That's the song that came through as I stepped away. On that note. So, Kiss from the Rose, definitely a song you may want to listen to. As a matter of fact, let me see what the gematria has to say. We're going to pull some messages from that. Kiss from the Rose. Numbers are 591, 1008, 168. Quatrains, Be Thy Name, Future. Ursula, I'm telling you, you got your voice. Solar Storm. Okay. It's been a lot of that. Noise of the Chariots. I'm telling you, haven't relocated. Because the Chariot is basically, it's actually the Cancer card, Cancerian card. But it has the Sphinx. One of the mind and one of the heart. One of thoughts and one of the heart. One of logic and one of emotion, basically. Scottie Pippen, Chicago Bulls energy, Chicago Bulls, Taurus. The Masterpiece Palace, Ancient Sorcerer. The Spirit of Agape, Unconditional Love. Angel means messenger. What's the message here for the collective regarding a kiss from a rose? That's also speaking of Guadalupe, which is the Empress of Protection. Some of you, you've been asking for a sign. Okay, basically what Guadalupe speaks of, it also speaks of in order for the divine to step in, the higher power, the infinite creator of all to step in, you have to ask it to. Because you're on a planet that has free will. It's not just going to do it because you're thinking about it. No, you have to, with your intention, ask for it to intervene. Other than that, it will not. What is the message here? That is a lot of cards. Well, we'll take them. The first one is, invisible forces at work. You got to ask. La Goose. Some of you could also be here to establish the Genesis. Got the body of a goddess. Selket is also here. We have Selket as the goddess of the dead, fertility, nature, animals, medicine, magic, and healing, venomous and stings. Venomous healing, venomous stings and bites. Her counterpart is Horus. Her parents are Khnum and Neith. Mama Universe. Then you have Wunjo, which speaks of joy and light, kindred spirits, fruits of one's labor, of aligning with self, harmony between ego and higher self, the master of the law of attraction. So let me see what it says here, because it says to pull 1 to 3 tarot cards. So let me go ahead and do that here for you. We have the body of a goddess and the goddess of the dead. So you got the body of Selket, which means that you are housing a lot of magic, healing powers, fertility. You're extremely abundant. And you have the ability to restore life from death. And Wunjo speaks of joy through true will. What are the three messages here? That was wow. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Some of you are here to really show yourself to the world, and this is where a lot of your abundance is going to come in. 11102, you are high priestesses as well. You have a lot of messages to relate to the collective because you are you came here to restore life. The life that you're restoring is the knowing of invisible forces at work. You have a strong connection here to lakes as well. You could have been at a lake recently, or whenever you watch this, you could be at a lake. But this is going to help you to connect to your subconscious. And if you're connecting to your subconscious, whatever it is that you're restoring, bring it back to life. You have a direct point of access to the subconscious because of your ability to interpret dreams, the proper use of your psychic powers, imagination. This lake is a particular lake that you go to that allows you to harness the energy of the collective memory. So you have a lot of power. And I'm saying a lot of power because you would, in order to withstand the collective's memory, you're going to be, you have to be able to house that within your physical vessel, because if not, it can easily, you know what I'm saying? It can easily drain you to a point where you become susceptible to a lot of things that can physically hurt you. But some of you, that is also the test to come out of those things that hurt you, because this also speaks of passing a test. To connect to your transpersonal powers, mastering your emotions, and connecting to prophetic wisdom. You gained the gift of guidance through your experience, which was your initiation. Your future self has called you from your infinite past, which is eroded with your dreams. Your infinite past is eroded with your dreams. Let me see something here. Let me look at this number. You can have a strong connection to the wind, to air and water. You could be an Aquarius as well. Or one of your placements in your chart has to do with Aquarius that allows you to connect to your prophetic wisdom. And for some of you, it's reminding yourself of where this all started. I feel like that's important for some of you, where this all started, for you to bring it full circle here and recognize what the reward is. Because the reward could be something as simple as a crystal, but you not knowing the foundation of that crystal or why that is so important to your soul, you can miss the message entirely. It was just 1:14:41 on the timer. Let me look at 1812. You do have the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, which speaks of 3 weeks. This could have been the last 3 weeks or the next 3 weeks, or you are within 3 weeks. Some of you could also be finding out that you are, this could be pregnancy as well. Congratulations, honey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've cleared out a lot from 5 generations ago. 5 generations. The second of the 5. Right here. The second of the 5 really shifted the perception of that entire bloodline. And now here you are with the memory of the very beginning. No one understands you. They're not going to. Because you're not part of the program that has been embedded within the last 3 generations. Because the reasons why I'm saying 5, yeah, they got the moon card here. The reason why I'm saying 5, you see the second one right here, how thick that trunk is? And then with the moon under this, Virgo new moon will be at the degree that is connected to the moon or Cancerian energy. So this is speaking of ancestors. Some of you are about to inherit. You're about to inherit a legacy that takes care, that's basically generational wealth. Because your core values come from a different world or perception of the world. And that's going to be evident for someone who knows that they are a god, goddess, like you're like the witch doctor of your bloodline. Let me see what else is here. And one more. And look at that. This is beautiful, y'all. Invisible forces are at work to bring you unconditional love. Do you see this energy right here? You got the world in your hands, along with unconditional love. So this is amazing health, well-being, fulfillment, enlightenment, compassion. So compassion is going to be key. Compassion is going to be key. Operating from your heart space. 522 to 527 could be significant. This would also be a moment where self-sabotaging thoughts started to increase, because what was happening was invisible forces were at work in terms of taking you through this very dark path. But the fact that you chose to go through this very dark path to see that divine light that you have, that's not the work of somebody who's operating from a 3-dimensional world. It's just not. You're 5D and above. If that feels more like 9D and above. But you know how to balance yourself in a vibration or a dimension that is not carrying the frequency that you're normally connected to. Let's see what comes up after this. Because it said pull 3 tarot cards, 1 to 3, and this is what we got here. There could be a major completion of conditional relationships, and now you're going to receive supreme unconditional love. It's beautiful. We got the black horse here, which is the rider that had a pair of scales, a quarter of wheat, a quarter of barley. Do not harm the oil and the wine. The third seal, a Pair of scales, justice energy. See, this is what I'm saying. Hold on, let me see what's under that. Wow, you got the full moon. The next full moon is a full moon in Pisces. Okay. Because anytime the moon is in Pisces, that's when you absorb the most energy of the unknown, that which is hidden. This also speaks of self-undoing certain energies and motion within you. And the fact that you have the black horse sitting on top of this full moon card, and the next one is Pisces. Yeah, you did a lot of closing of cycles, but you can only close this cycle with compassion, because it's very easy to want to retaliate, because the cycles that you have to close out. Let me tell you something. This is what I'm saying. I'm talking to those of you who experience some shit. There's so many levels of shit that you experience, and everybody's level of shit that they experience can either help them to blossom or keep them like the Walking Dead. But it's all about what you choose to do with, these lessons and situations that you encounter. Now, you carried a lot of memories from past generations, so much so that it was just like, if you talk to anybody within your bloodline or your family, they're gonna think you're bugging out, or that you're crazy or some shit. To the point that they're gonna tell you, what you chose to live this life, or you're choosing to think that way. See, let me tell you something about that right now. Some of you don't even have that choice. Some of you literally came back to wipe that program that even operates that way, to even mention those specific words. Yeah, you this is the realm of free will, yes. But like I said, I'm talking to my gods and goddesses and my angels and those of you who are the witch doctors in the bloodline. Every opportunity that everybody else before you had to do whatever they want to do and fuck shit up as much as they could, you ain't come here for that. You came here to clean that shit up. This is why you would have issues speaking to certain people, and be more than okay with that, because that's also part of your journey. What you have to realize, because all that's doing is showing you who you are, where you come from. You came here to restore your bloodline. That's not the work of somebody operating from a three-dimensional world, like I said. Okay. Under the full moon, you got human design. So some of you would have been really diving deeper into your human design, which is extremely helpful, because it's showing you the way you connect with others, whether if you should be the initiator or if you're the one that has to wait for things to shift. You got spirit child here. Look at that. That which has wounded you has great potential to heal you. Chiron 999. You could have been seeing 999 more than you normally do. Cancerian energy is popping through here. There could have been a lot of things that show up in the color of sea green or silver that catches your attention. And it's just reminding you of your feelings. Cancer also has to do with the past, present, and future. My divine feminines, pay attention to your moon cycles as well. And look up, research when your cycle starts and what moon phase it is at that moment. Okay? Something about your commitments or something you're committed to. We have committed and flowering with the yellow seed. The chakra is the root chakra. Committed to your ancestral gifts is what I'm getting from that. Communicating with your ancestors. And for that reason is why you're completing a lot of cycles here. Because to be able to do what you're doing in restoring your bloodline, you have to be able to communicate with ancestors who pretty much were the leaders of the reason why things have shaped up to be where they're at, especially if it's not where they were supposed to be. Especially if you're connected to a royal bloodline. Then you have emotional wounding here. See, again with this moon energy, moon tone 2, lunar. Moon tone 2 is lunar, which gives you the power to polarize through the essence of challenge, through the action of stability or stabilizing feelings by realizing that feelings are programs we give life to when we say I am. And you also have moon tone 8, which is galactic, and solar seal 8. So Lionsgate 8 could be significant for you too as well. We got the yellow star and the yellow sea popping through here. Moon tone 8 is connected to galactic moon tone, the power to harmonize, bring things to balance, to step into the essence of non-duality. The action is model, so this could be leading by example. Through the essence of integrity, being true with yourself about what it is that is truly harmony to you. It's not going to be the same with everybody else. And that's more than okay. Because that's also what Uranus in retrograde is going to point out to you too. As a matter of fact, let me see something. Yeah, Uranus will be retrograde to the 22nd of January of next year, 2023, which is when you begin to internalize the external changes which has happened with you. Innovations in the world slow down so that way you can implement them and accept them as a society during the retrograde period. Ooh. Okay. I mean, there's a few other cards here, but okay. Let me. Some matters regarding social change movements, media, and technologies are re-examined and corrected. Emperor to God. Aquarius ruled people can slow down a bit and work on older projects or complete already existing. Mercury is also entering Libra on the 25th, which is amazing for business, work planning, and refining your skills in art, music, design, beauty, appearance, business deals, agreements, contracts, negotiations, work with women. This could also bring about important conversations about relationships, and there goes the Emperor to the God card coming out there. Let me see. So right now, Mercury is trining Pluto, which brings forth deeper communications, mental insights into secrets hidden and forbidden or psychological matters. Okay. This Emperor to God situation that just popped in here like that. Let me see what's going on here. I'm going to put these three back. Okay. Emperor to God, what is your message? Someone is viewing their world differently to bring in unconditional love. By knowing what it is, first and foremost. Emperor to God, what's your message? What is your message? What about this offer? What about this invitation and proposal? As above, so below. What about the Knight of Cups? Emperor to God, what you coming in here with? Ooh, secret admirer. That's a secret admirer. I'm telling you, somebody's definitely analyzing everything in life. Their thoughts when it comes to their foundation, the way they want to build it moving forward. Someone can have a moon in Pisces also. This Emperor to God could have a moon in Pisces or Neptune in Cancer. Neptune in Cancer. 1 second. Neptune in Cancer is from 1901, 1916. Okay. Because now this seems like somebody's ancestor coming through here. Let me see what's under the Emperor to God. Waxing crescent. So this could be an ancestor of some of you who has a moon in Pisces or Neptune in Cancer specifically, that's asking you or is going to be assisting you with your courage to move forward here. If it's not Neptune in Cancer, it definitely says they tend to hold home and family in high regard and believe in old-fashioned values. Emperor to God. It promotes a love of luxury. At some point in their lives, Neptune Cancerians are likely to experience an unusual or strange occurrence in their home or with relatives. It says when Neptune was last in Cancer, the American movement of social protest was part of change affecting Western civilization. This sign of this imaginative depth, Sigmund Freud explored the unconscious, and Carl Jung formulated his theory of a collective unconscious. Okay, some of you may want to tap into Carl Jung, Carljung. He definitely taps into the tarot as well. Let me see what else comes out here. Some of you could have been seeing that like on social media. It's especially if you This sounds like someone that's just recently diving into tarot cards. You may have been using oracle cards, but you are getting to a point where your soul knows that you are prepared to tap into the tarot, because there's a lot of symbolism in tarot that if you're not prepared for it, it's not the wisest thing to do. Now, let me see what else comes up. Mm, shit. A Pisces with a moon in Scorpio. Who this? So there's an offer that comes in that literally that changes your perspective about every other offer you've ever had. So this is where that Ace of Cups comes in too. See, with ever relocating, there's a lot more love flowing through us all. You still have the free will to reject it, though, by not knowing what is happening. But you're in the age of knowing. So it's like, this is like the infinite creator having a 5-year plan, whatever 5 years means to the infinite creator, right? Where you tell yourself, this year, on this age, I'm moving here, or I'm moving this there. See, this is giving me the vibes of the divine realm shifting. Something about the moon, though. Something about the moon. If it's giving me a vibe that's going to start to look different. Greetings, sacred. Hi, love. There's something about the moon that is this. Cycles are going to change. Cycles that no longer belong to you are ending, releasing the burdens. So the Empress releases the burdens, closes out the cycle, receives this Ace of Cups, supreme unconditional love from the Emperor that has become the God. Sheesh. Okay. 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 You're welcome, beloved. For some of you, your moon is going through the 8th house right now, which is allowing you to look deeper from an occult viewpoint when it comes to partnerships in your life. Some of you are definitely connecting to the overstanding when it comes to sex being sacred. 4 of Pentacles is here. This is Sun in Capricorn. Your immortal spirit knows how to stop you, even in moments you don't want to be stopped. But with heaven relocating, you know how you hear rejection is your protection? That's what this feels like. Let me see what else. The Lovers. You got 3 major arcana, the Death card, and the Lovers. That speaks of a decision that's being made. Definitely check to see where Mars is for you this next 7 months. And go back to the last live I did where I basically was telling you about the different houses of where Mars will be transiting and what that means for you. See, if some of you have Mars in the 8th house, make sure you're really connected to your willpower, your ancestors, because you're going to be connected to a lot of people who dabble into the occult, and not everyone is doing it for the proper reasons. Now, I haven't relocated. Okay, so slow and steady. Anything or anyone that wants to rush you beyond the pace you want to go, you already know. Don't. If you find yourself doing things to explain yourself to this person, you're running a race that you can't even handle. And you don't even want to be racing anybody at this point. You really want to then connect to yourself. And you'll feel a lot better when you make the decision that comes from your soul, especially if somebody keeps basically like baiting you type of vibes. Because it feels like a lot of you have gone through, whoever this resonates with, have gone through experiences where now you're being mindful of connections that you're having. Doesn't have to be just when it comes to, love. This could even be family, co-workers, being more aware of the energy. Let's say if you decide to apply somewhere and you can sense the energy. Granted, you have to do certain things, but some of you may go through a test where the Most High is looking to see if you're going to take this because you have to, or you're going to trust the Most High and go where you're actually celebrated, not going to be tolerated, because all that's going to do is bring you stress in your life. And doing something because you have to do it, you won't even be healthy enough to do it. It's the age of knowing. That's how strong this shit is. Okay. So let's see what's coming up here after the Lovers. That was the Ace of Wands, but it popped back in. So, wow. We have the Nine of Cups, and then we got the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This is basically what I was just saying here about, because the Nine of Cups speaks of a wish fulfillment, but it could also speak of overindulgence, especially with this Six of Pentacles in reverse, which is the lack of reciprocity. So yeah, some of you are definitely going to make a decision here, and that's what's ending. Making a decision that if it's not emotionally fulfilling you, and emotionally fulfilling you means that you're still able to be connected to your soul, and that's done and over with. And then this is Scorpio, this is Taurus. You got the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio connected to Hygeia, which speaks of your physical health. So you're really, being guided to go within and see the connection that you have with your body and connection to the planet and people around you. Because the age of Aquarius, as we know, Uranus is basically the impulse of the nerves. So when you speak of getting to the root of a situation, getting to the root of it, okay, the nerves is one thing now. But the impulse that flows through it, that's the age we're in. Shit. Ace of Swords. Follow your truth. So if you're following your truth, that means there's going to be a lot of removal, detoxing, regeneration, rejuvenation of what is your truth, what allows your heart to sing, what allows you to feel what your heart has to say. If you can't hear your controller, your heart space, Just know you got work to do and get it done. You can get it done and you will get it done. Okay? You will get it done. Just stay on it. So, let's see what's on this side. Queen of Sheba. You might want to watch some of these movies. Then you got Virgo Pisces. Okay, this is the season we in. All right. Analyze what you believe in and follow the voice of your heart. You see it right there? Follow the voice of your heart. Intelligence is simplifying the complex to connect to your wisdom. Because to be wise is also to make your life simple. Forgive. Why you're being asked to forgive? To drop the load. Release the burdens that ain't even yours. Because a lot of you have emotional wounds because you were carrying someone else's burden. And then you got pissed off because they didn't understand what you were doing, but you didn't understand what you was doing yourself. That's okay though. It's so good. Then you got Proverbs 24:14. So shall you know skillful and godly wisdom to be true to your life. If you find it, then shall there be a future, a reward, and your hope and expectation shall not be cut off. Because enough is enough. And I told you, I am generational wealth. I have all the tools of and for success. What was one of the beginning cards? Whatever you say after I am becomes a feeling. And whatever becomes a feeling becomes a part of your subconscious. And whatever becomes a part of your subconscious becomes a part of your soul, which means it's a part of your foundation. And now if you hear me telling you follow the voice of your soul, depends on what's there. Yeah. So, I want to check to see what these star cards are saying. Thank you for liking the video, love. Where the rest of y'all go? Oh, here. She popped through as I just split the deck. Our Lady of Hermits, the Black Madonna. I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. You experience what you experience because in this age of Aquarius, which speaks of the collective, bringing harmony to the collective, some of you are the foundation of certain situations so you can know how to heal it, so that when someone else comes across you, you know exactly what it is that they're experiencing, so one, you know how to handle it, and two, they can trust you and know and believe and have faith knowing, they believe that you're helping them to transform their belief into a knowing through your experience. Because you have so much information through your own life that allows them to say, you can do it, so can I. Okay, so that's what I said. Are you ready? Are you ready to do what you chose to do? This is what you came here for. This is why you found me. This is why you connect to these messages. Are you ready? I'll tell you right now, you've been ready. You've been ready. You've been doing the work. Excuse me. What's the animal spirit here? Ooh, shit. A change in the winds. The sweetness of life. I love to see it. Spiritually and practically grounded. You crave obstacles is what this is showing me so that way you can learn. So this is what I'm saying. You've been ready. And as far as the memories that you've collected, reincarnation to reincarnation, it was all for this very moment right now to shift it all. It's like you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for this moment. You kept on asking the infinite creator, can I go there? Can I go there? But it wasn't your turn yet. Because you were made for something much greater, and that much greater is now. That much greater is now. Let me see. See all this lightning of the crown. Enlightenment of the crown. Seems like you're being fitted for your crown now. Fitted for your crown. Did you let go of the deception? Did you let go of the envy that you felt around you? Did you let go of all of that low vibrational energy? Did you let it go? Here's the death card again. Did you let it go? Because did you let it go? Because it's time for you to walk straight into your wish fulfillment, emotional happiness here. 8 of Cups, straight to the 9 of Cups. See what I'm saying? That's that buffalo energy. You literally ask for certain situations subconsciously so that you can see what you had to see, to walk away from it with compassion. Because the way you walk away from it with compassion is you forgiving them, for they know not what they do. Because when we speak of not knowing, it's because they're still stuck in the age of belief, the age of Pisces. You know where you at. You know where things are shifting into. So you know what must be done. You know what type of wisdom you must attain in order for your expansion to come in. This is Saturn in Pisces. This is Jupiter in Pisces. This is the moon in Aquarius. So emotions connected to memories of social relationships have to be refined. So you have to find the balance, the harmony within it all. And a lot of that required you to walk away and celebrate yourself. Some of you used to sulk in celebrating yourself. Now you enjoy it like no other. Like you be having a ball by yourself. Still, this death card is at the bottom here. Page of Cups. Any issues that you may have had with business, there's a clean slate of it. There's an emotional new state of it. Let me see. Which means it's a greater control of emotions. And then you got the Page of Swords, which is speaking of detachment. This could be something you've been holding on to for so long, too. Again, with Capricorn energy work. Let me see. 8 of Wands. Asking you shall receive is what I just heard here. Let me see. What's this 8 of Wands? I'm telling you, you asked for this shit. Some of you literally called in your own towers. You low-key complained about it at 1.2, 919 and timer on the time, 919. You complained about it, but you didn't realize that this was developing your 10 of Pentacles, your abundance, your support, your soul tribe. 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles, you were working on this, on yourself, okay? Because this would be Mars. You were working on the way you were going to take action. You were working on your temperament. You were working on whatever it was that truly brings you vitality. You were working on emotional wounds that you picked up from your maternal figures, going through the womb. All of the energy that you harness from being in the womb, because that womb that you were in was actually connected to a grandmother. But again, this is why you came back here. Because it seemed like there were certain people of past generations that were doing what you were doing, but you see how you may have experienced a lack of support, their lack of support, and the timing that they were living is obviously not the same as it is now, where you have social media and you have a lot of people, doing similar things. So it does make you feel like even if you are in this space of you physically being alone, you're not, because you have people that you can connect to, even if you don't, verbally say anything to them, that you got a support group. Yeah, I feel like you see how he's holding that one pentacle, but don't even realize that the other two, like there are other, like this feels like other people doing what he's doing, but they feel like they're the only one there. Yeah, then you got the 10 of Swords, the end of betrayal. What's after this? What's after this? The Sun card. I mean, come on. All of this shifting of the foundation and things falling apart was worth it. Certainly was. With the 10 of Cups, this is Mars and Pisces now. What else did you have with Mars? It was a 3 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So the better handle you've had of what you had to undo yourself from, it allowed you to use anything that was thrown at you to hurt you as a way to build, rather than it actually hurting you. 923 on 823. So that's the buffalo. As a matter of fact, I will read it to you so you can see what this is, okay? Okay. The buffalo. Grounded yet heavenly, practical yet spiritual. The hooves of the mighty buffalo are grounded in the earth, yet its heart and mind rise toward heaven. The buffalo sees challenge, hardship, or a bump in the road as an opportunity for upliftment. Therefore, the buffalo does not fear death, illness, or misfortune. Its gentle eyes look to the road ahead, trusting every turn. May we all experience this elusive yet life changing bliss from time to time. And may we allow this card to remind us that life is a precious gift. When you're in balance, you're trusting and you have a pure presence. When out of balance, restless, lacking gratitude, to bring into balance prayer and bhakti. That came up earlier. What was it for? Let me see something because that came up earlier. What was it? What was it? You're a divine being that will usher in and anchor the new frequency. I don't think I'm going to find it right now. What was it? What was it? Was it the black egg? Which speaks of authentic voice. No. It was one of the divine feminines. Was it Ananda Mahima? Because she would be the divine presence of Kali. Let's see. 68. I think it was her. And that'd be lit if it was. If it's not her, then it was Mirabai, the saint of true freedom. It was one of them. Let me see. Get out. 84. 84. It was Mirabai. The Bhakti movement is a spiritual path focused on the cultivation of a personal love for the divine. There's God. This is who it is. Bhakti. Oh, shit. Where are you, pretty baby? No, not you. She's right here. She did a lot of things that was unconditional, unconventional. Look at who's at the bottom though. See their face? They ain't come here to play. Now, when it comes to the divine love presence of Kali, this is who permeates that energy, who brings that out. Ananda Maima. So when you speak of the light and the dark, this is it right here. They thought she was bugging out because she was always in a state of bliss. They thought she was bugged out because she was in the state of bliss and she initiated herself. So, just saying. Which means you have to have a certain devotion to what it is that you're doing to do that. You know what I mean? But yeah. Let's close off our message for the evening with one more message. One more message. Let me grab one from here. Did I grab the whole thing? I did. Okay. It's great to see you all. Final message. Final message for the wonderful collective. The cheetah and the ram. Jeez, this is fire right here. Clarity for the third time. Focus, clarity, speed. You're being guided to be mindful and value yourself and others. Strategize your days and be patient. Take calculated risk and take action towards your heart's desires. You have what you need to change your life today and become the best version of you. When it says value yourself and others, make sure it's reciprocity. That's what I got to say. This is also speaking of, you can see potential in someone, but if they don't see the potential in themselves, use your discernment, be wise, and until they're prepared to see their own potential, go on about your business. The ram. Courage, strength, and pioneer. You're being guided to follow your heart and find the joy, intrigue, and enthusiasm for life. Look beyond the tried and true. You are your own unique journey. There is no mountain too high or rugged for you. Forge ahead with stamina, determination, and self-love. A lot of fire energy coming through here. And we're going to finalize your message. This one is to pop through. All that glitters is not gold. Okay? Okay. And under that, what do you have? Exchanging gifts. Be mindful. Okay, we're not even going to talk about that then. Say less. Say less. No, that's right. Final message here. What is the final message? This is wild. Divine will. You know what the willpower is? That's the one ability we all have that the divine will not intervene unless you give it permission to. And you got soul fragments. Balance will be restored. Let me see which zodiac card, astrology card is connected to this divine will. Let go of fear. What is the connection to this here for the collective? Definitely get familiar as to where your Mars is transiting at this time. The fact that Mars is in Gemini. We got Sagittarius coming out. Let go of fear. By connecting to the energy that imbues power, superior confidence, enthusiasm with faith, great fortune, and authority. I just heard let your God in the Virgo season. Let your God in. Let your essence of God in. Divine will, number 12. Self-undoing house, 12th house. And we have here trust the path, let go of fear. While I read, here is the image. Accepting that there is a divine plan for every human being, divine will is the process of our human experience to this unique blueprint. Every culture and religion has a narrative of their creator or personal God and their relationship with the human soul. That an overall plan exists for the outcome of humanity, and each individual is a concept of this belief. This belief. While divine will is the concept that there is a divine universal plan for all of us, it still acknowledges that people have free will and the potential to make choices that lead us down this path. In essence, surrendering to divine will also allows you to remove self-blocking patterns and tendencies that lead away from your true divine purpose here on earth. Currently, you are being asked to stop. Stop trying to force a door open. Your resistance will continue to make distance between you and your desired outcome. The overall picture is much bigger than you can see right now. Trust in your unique path and that you are exactly where you need to be, right here, right now. Surrendering to the universe and to divine will is removing the internal fight of being in control of every possible situation, issue, and scenario that may or may not eventuate. When you stop and surrender, you can live freely, having a new sense of freedom and letting go of the events or circumstances that you simply cannot control. Everything will always be received in divine timing. Sometimes when we work so hard at achieving a goal or outcome, it can be marred by setback after setback. This does not mean you will not receive success. More that you need to adjust and be open to a new approach to receive the outcome or resolution you desire. You may need to acknowledge, however, that the door isn't ready yet, or it is physically not meant to be opened by you. The shadow aspect of this card is unwilling to make decisions, fanaticism, and avoiding responsibility. The sacred crystal is amethyst. The angel of assistance is guardian angel Hasdiel, which is Has as in Samuel, D as in David, IEL, which speaks of generosity, tolerance, and community projects. The affirmation, I let go of control and surrender to divine synchronicity. I let go of control and surrender to divine synchronicity. I let go of control and surrender to divine synchronicity. My love, that is your message. Okay, I love you. And I will see you on the next live.